Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Duel Masters on the PlayStation 2 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we'll be continuing on through Rebecca's brackets in the 5 Colors tournament. As past Gerda mentions here, I was really hoping during my routing that I would actually get to show off Aqua Jolter being more prevalent, because Rebecca's got so many copies of it, as does Rusty, but it doesn't end up showing up all that often. So it ends up going into my mana more often than it actually sees play, which is terrible because, you know, if it's in my mana, I'm like never gonna fish it back out.
I would imagine that would be the case for a lot of creatures and options in this game, is that you just stick to the dominant strategy. You'll be fine. The game is flawed that way.
Yes and no, to be perfectly honest. Like, the big issue that we're going to have in this fight specifically is the fact that it's going to be a while before we get anything that can deal with Evans, or is it Chris? One of the two. Phantom Fish. Although, there we go. We managed to draw into our copy of King Ambergris, and next turn we'll be able to bring it out, and he can actually start dealing. He can actually start dealing with the Phantom Fish, and well, as long as he's on the field, he's gonna give our no. It's Banner that gives our critters unblockable.
Yeah.
Ambergris makes it so that our critters, when they die, go back to our hand, which is very nice.
King Ambergris.
No, we bounce our Aqua Hulkus back to our hand so we can draw a card next turn.
Elf X.
Elf X is an interesting creature in that it decreases the cost of your decreases the summoning cost of your creatures by 1. This is honestly very, very important. It's also something that I don't end up using all that. It's something that I never end up using. Not because it's bad, but because, rather specifically, it is relatively difficult to keep on the board for green, because it's, you know, a relatively weak critter, only 2,000 power.
Oh, you're not supposed to block with that.
What?
You're not supposed to block with that.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're trying to block with it. Certain creatures just have the ability to kill it, or spells specifically, because it's at 2,000 power, have the ability to kill it really easily.
Yeah,
you know, like Crimson Hammer and Burst Arrows.
Yeah, and it paints a big target on its head because it's giving you summoning discounts.
Yeah,
I can see that. My horn is much bigger than yours.
And see, it even has a glacial missile attached to it. I do enjoy having King Ambergris, to be perfectly honest. It's not nearly as useful as I would like, but it helps, and you know, it helping is all it really needs to do. Now, we effectively have infinite blockers at the moment.
You'll never get through my defense, not with axes and not with trees.
And not with scorpions either. Because every time one of our King Corals ends up dead, we just, you know, end up resummoning it.
And he actually blocked with his Elf X.
No, he's attacking with Elf X.
He attacked with his Elf X, and it survived the attack.
Yay, we get to trigger our Spiral Gate.
Yay.
Alright then, so from here, let's do 2 more King Coral. No, 3 King Coral.
You'll never jump through this coral.
Because we have more shields that are left over than our opponent, we could actually, you know, just block one of his creatures and win next turn. Or 2 of his creatures, even.
Take your best shot. Especially because he spent all of his mana on Red Eye Scorpion.
I'm glad that I got to show off a game with King Ambergris showing off how powerful this passive is.
It's funny how these creatures both get trees that are shaped exactly the same way because it's attached to the character model.
Yeah. You know, limited production budget, as it were.
No, because you could buy into the narrative behind the creature that it's so big and strong that it just ripped a tree out from the stump and started swinging it around like a weapon. But when two of them are standing right next to each other and the trees look exactly the same, like which tree farm did they hit up before they came over here?
Legendary banner gets to destroy 2 shields at once.
Hell yeah. Now he is vulnerable.
Well, he did actually hit us with Spiral Gate, so we're not going to be able to finish with Ambergris, right? No, we are going to be able to finish it with Ambergris. Ha ha ha! Go,
His
King
whole
Ambergris.
pool is down. Can't beat the king, baby.
Yeah, well, he's got the same. He actually has the same one for ground and air target. No, that's right. We showed off both of his ground target ones. We didn't show off his air target one. Oh well.
Winner!
Down.
Stand by.
All right, Evan. Now that you're down, I think that's the end of Rebecca's brackets, right? Nope, Rebecca's got another one. She's got to take down Jody, who I think is running the hyper aggro water fire deck, right?
Ariel.
Really? It's Ariel? I thought it was Jody.
It looks like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. I probably have made that comparison before, but it is uncanny.
I don't think we're going to need both of our Rothis, but instead we're going to throw our Aqua Shooter for us to be able to bring up Brawler Xyler. Brawler Xyler is honestly one of the more important creatures in my deck, simply because it only costs 2. It's much easier for me to, bring out Brawler Xyler and actually start doing damage to my opponent than it is pretty much any other creature I'm running.
You took too long to develop your board. Now feel the consequences.
Oh no, she's not running the hyper aggro. She's running the extremely long game red blue deck. Okay. So use Rothis. I personally think that if you're going to run anything from the Fire Civilization, run Rothis and try and run it at 4 if you can, because the ability to trade a single smaller creature for any one of your opponent's creatures is really, really important. Unfortunately, now I can't actually attack anything without losing my board presence. So now I must wait until I have an answer for her Revolver Fish. But she gave me an answer by bouncing back my Rothis. Now I can just put Brain Serum back into my mana, or I can just cast Rothis like so. This was a relatively difficult decision for me. I was like, I kind of want to actually draw cards because I'm running a bit low. So, and now that she brought out Fighter Yukon, it brings out the fact that I'm actually ahead on mana now. So it was probably a good idea for me to keep up my Brain Serum.
We're whittling her down.
And now it's an even better idea because she hit me with volcanic arrows. So.
See mine. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is fine. Fighter Yukon doing double shield trigger is more than likely just going to give us a little bit more field presence. And if it does, we win on the next turn instead of the following one. Oh, it missed. Damn it.
So it did take out shields.
Mana, so we're fine.
She took out the wrong shields.
Well, she does. One thing that I've not honestly mentioned yet is the fact that you don't get to pick which shields you take down. You always end up taking down the shields in order. So I think shields 1 and 2 are technically the shields shields 5 and 4 from how you would play them.
Oh, this is coming close.
It's close, but she has no blocker, so we win.
Made it a 1-point game. Woo! Gotta love it when that happens. Yep. She overextended.
Evolve into legendary Banner. I'm glad that we get a steroid that our opponents don't in signature creatures. It's just that most signature creatures just straight up aren't running. Legendary Banner is only worth running because we've got so many copies of King Coral. Like if we had to play Aqua Sniper instead, it would just straight up not be fucking worth it. Bum, bum. Mostly because Aqua Sniper requires us to get up to either 7 or 8 mana, and we just straight up don't usually get that high. I think we've had like a total of 4 games on screen where we actually pushed past 7 mana. And one of them was in this part. Haha. But there we go. We've successfully made it to the finals of the 5 Colors tournament. And we go in order, so Flynn is first. Now, Flynn has to deal with Marcus, who we didn't get to see play throughout the entire game, but that's okay because Marcus is running Mono Darkness. And because he's running Mono Darkness, he's got a lot of relatively powerful removal spells that he can't ever cast because they require too much fucking mana.
My whole world is darkness. I'm wearing a black-colored blindfold.
Yes, and there's metal stuff underneath that blindfold for some fucking reason.
The Gray Balloon.
Gray Balloon is an interesting blocker in that it being a 3,000 3-drop is honestly makes it really good against a lot of aggro stuff. But specifically, it makes it worse also than Emerald Grass, who is a 3,000 power blocker at 2 mana. So yeah, there's that.
Now I know I'm a little late to the party on this one because we're in the 11th part. Do they really only give attack power to creatures in intervals of 1,000?
Yes. Well, no, actually. A majority of the civilizations do that, but Light specifically has the ability to have creatures, at least in this set, with power ratios between 1,000 and 500 points. Specifically, one of the big reasons why Law and Ethel are so good are because that they actually hit those specific power marks. Law at 55 and Ethel at 55 with unblockable. As Pascard is mentioning here, Bark Whip is honestly a really good evolution creature for the tribe it's associated with. It's just that you have to swing with him first in order for him to actually be fucking worth it, which is a problem because, well, at 5,000 power, he can't on his own get over Dianork. And the inability to run over Dianork makes the rest of your creatures just more valuable than he is. I like that he's a 2-drop evolution creature, and I like that he's a 2-drop evolution creature in a relatively common species category. But it gets to be an issue when he's the only creature that you've got out on the field.
Death Smoke.
Put down Flail and have Bark Whip kill Locomotiver. And now that Marcus is officially out of resources, we should be able to steamroll him from here. We just need to put down a creature next turn.
Yep, because his accessible creatures and spells are too expensive, which means he will not be able to intervene in time.
Cast Death Smoke.
Death.
Alright, Flail, break one of his shields. This is Flail. This is the boss monster that Flynn gets at the very end of his campaign. I'm glad that I got to show it off. It honestly has a really cool effect that when it dies in battle, it goes back to your hand, and as a 4-drop, it's relatively easy to recursively cast it. The big thing about that, of course, is that it's got Slayer attached to it. So whenever it battles with a monster, it's guaranteed to kill that monster.
Nice.
Bronzard Tribe will break Marcus's second to last shield. He missed his spell out, so I don't know what it was.
Smack it with a hammer.
Last shield, and then Flail will do his ground attack, which I think is the plasma ball, right?
Oh yeah, it's different attacks. Nice.
Yeah. Well, yes. As I've mentioned much earlier on in the game, every creature has 2 different attacks: one for grounded targets and one for aerial targets. The final blow counts as a grounded target. So. And in the next part, we will continue on with the finale of the 5 Colors tournament.
He didn't see it coming.
Be safe, everybody.
Thanks for watching, everyone.